Hey everyone, it's the Koopa Man. So in my last two videos, we talked about the definitions of what is and isn't censorship, and gave a hard definition to what is and isn't woke. Which got me thinking, with how much the world is getting divisive and frantic lately, one thing we can't afford to lose is language. As Voltaire himself has said, define your terms if you permit me, or we will never understand each other. If you do not understand the person you're talking to, no mutual ideas can be exchanged, and nothing is accomplished. This may be a large reason why those on the left wing of the aisle are so keen on changing the definitions of words. See Wikipedia's recent update on the definition of the word recession, or upending the need for objective definitions altogether. The greatest way to create discord is to keep people from understanding each other, which will keep them divided, superstitious, and angry at each other, and more importantly, easier to rule over. So many of history's greatest tragedies were preventable if only people could understand what they were saying or could communicate with each other. Take the Challenger explosion, for example. When engineers responsible for inspecting the O-rings on the shuttle the day before the shuttle's launch refused to communicate a critical error in the rings, the mission ended in disaster when the shuttle exploded, resulting in the deaths of the entire shuttle crew. Another example is from the night of the sinking of the RMS Titanic. As the Titanic was in distress and sent out an SOS to all nearby ships, as well as unleashed distress flares, the captain of the SS Californian, fitting name there, Stanley Lord, misunderstood the call, believing the flares to be mere party fireworks.
Boom! Like happy festival fireworks, yeah?
As such, the Californian, which was the closest ship to the sinking Titanic, did not come in aid of the passengers and crew of the sinking ship. As such, very likely more lives were lost than were necessary. Communication is key in any sort of situation, and language plays a major role in our ability to understand one another. In the parable of the Tower of Babel, the peoples of Babylon decided to build a tower so tall it could reach heaven itself. Of course, all that would accomplish is get hundreds and hundreds of people airsick from lack of oxygen. So in order to punish the people for their arrogance and keep certain disaster from unfolding, God made all the builders speak in totally different tongues. Unable to continue the project due to being unable to understand each other, the work crews would pack everything up and scatter across the land. One thing, however, different languages cannot change is definitions. Words are just that, words. It's what the words mean that's important, and that from definitions we draw language. For example, take this creature. You surely know what it is. The French call it grenouille, the Italians call it rana. In German, it is der Frosch. In Polish, it is zabla. In Russian, it is ligushka. And in Greek, it is ovashrahos. The Japanese call it kairu, and the Chinese call it xinhua. But no matter where you go on Earth, no matter what it's called, it does not change what it is. And that is...
A froggy be a small beastie with 4 leggies, which leap up in water and on land. It is brown, or green, or yellow, or be it tropical. He may have diverse colours and live in trees. It have lunges and giles boopy. Froggies need be water to reproduce. It hatch up from an egg, and it pawn it is a tadpole. It grow up to be a froggy if it pawn be not eaten. It eats small bugs like crickets, fleas, or even worms. They have tongue that been long and sticky. There are poisonous froggies out there. You might see a froggy if you enter before it's or legs. A froggy be found in all continents except Antarctica. A froggy be brothers with a toad.
Yeah, that. All that's different in different languages is the words. The definitions, the concepts, are all the same regardless. At least that used to be the case. Lately, it seems like definitions are becoming hazy as those on the political left have decided that definitions are patriarchy or something. When you throw out objective meanings, you keep people from being able to understand each other. And when they use the excuse language is fluid and living to cover up what it is, intentional or not, the destruction of communication, it is just infuriating. Terms like censorship and racist and, National Socialist German Workers' Party of Germany in between the years of 1930 and 1945 have lost all meaning because people keep using them not for their hard definitions, but as catch-all terms for basically things I don't like. As such, no one takes these words seriously anymore, despite their original definitions being good labels for people and practices we should be steering away from. and hard. Then we have new terms like woke, shadowban, and deplatform, and the like. Words that represent concepts that did not exist when the language was formed, but are still very fluid, and most of these terms don't have hard definitions yet. Defining woke was a major step in my previous video for that reason. This isn't even a problem that's exclusive to the left as mentioned in the previous videos, and it's a really bad habit to fall into. The solution? Be clear and precise. Don't engage in heated and emotional arguments where you're most likely to misuse language, which leads to the rot of meanings. Define your terms before your enemies define them for you, and make sure those you are talking to are also doing the same. Don't just jump to conclusions. If you don't understand what someone is saying, ask them to elaborate. Even among those who speak the same language, meaning can be lost between words. Language is a powerful tool in the right hands. The pen is mightier than the sword, after all, and, if you can keep it, it can be a tool that saves us from all this unrest in the end. Don't lose hope, friends, and always say what you mean and mean what you say. It has been the Koopa Man. Game on.